Okay, I believe we're live. Hello, everybody. This is a special Saturday night edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and tonight we're going to basically be covering just the tropics. It's going to be a shorter show, but I am here, and we are going to cover this developing storm system that we have out in the northern Caribbean, southern Atlantic. Let's just give everybody a few minutes to get in. It is 9:01 p.m. Eastern, and we are live here at Starship Studios in North Fort Myers. Welcome, everybody. And tonight we're talking about Tropical Depression number 9. And you can see there on the map where it's at. It is starting to show up on the Miami radar, the outer fringes of it. You can see there where it is and where it's going, and they're still forecasting this very odd, very sharp right turn. This will be the saving grace as far as damage on shore. And I did want to come on tonight because yesterday it was looking like the Carolinas were going to take a hit, and now it's not looking so bad. We do have a tropical storm watch in effect from Palm Beach north of the Space Coast, almost to St. Augustine, and I expect those to continue. I would expect tropical storm watches to be issued for southern Florida as well, possibly. It depends on how quick this thing gets its act together. If it's a little slower getting its act together, South Florida, from Palm Beach south, including Fort Lauderdale, Miami, may not actually see any warnings at all. And we may see some further up. But right now, just where you see the pink there, this is the tropical storm watch. Okay, which means that tropical storm conditions are possible within 36 to 48 hours. And so that's about where we're at there. I've got pictures right above me. These are all current as of right before the show. I downloaded those right off of Mike's weather page, spaghettymodels.com. You guys know the routine. We are going to run models. We're going to do all the normal stuff that we do tonight. And I do have that new Google map, and we're going to be looking at that too. All the models are picking this up now. So I'm going to put this on so you guys can see it as we're waiting for everybody to get in here. Let me get this set up on the screen here. Hold on just a second. All right. There we go. All right, let's run this thing from the start. You can see here everything starts right down about right where it's at there. And then here we go. This is the run. And you can see all the models, there's a lot of consensus, but still each model has some runs that don't go that direction. So there's still some models that take it up into the Carolinas. So do I think that there's a 100% certainty? No. But it is interesting that the National Hurricane Center has taken the coast basically out of the cone, which I think is interesting. See the gray area? The coastline is barely in the gray area, and they did actually move it back a little bit, because the one I saw before this, it was right off the coast. So I'm noticing now they do have some of the coast still here. Wilmington, Jacksonville, you guys are still technically in the cone. And you say, well, yeah, but we're right on the edge of the cone. We were right on the very edge of the cone for Ian, and we got direct hit. So the gray area. If you're inside the gray area, you are inside the cone of uncertainty. And you can see it is forecast to be a Cat 1 hurricane with 75 and 90. That's a basic hurricane. That's not very powerful. Um, and if it stays this far offshore, it's a rain event. It literally is a rain event. We just have to see how much rain we end up getting from it. But that's pretty much all we're looking at this point. Now, I'm not saying that there's not going to be more that happens, but right now it's looking more and more like this is going to go out and be a fish storm. And if that's the case, let me see what I got to do here. Restart. If that's the case, then well, there you go. All right, above the row across the top are all in the Bahamas. Two are in Nassau, and one is on one of the other islands there in the Bahamas. And as you can see, no effects there yet. Let me see if I can get this one going again. Oh, I just saw some lightning when I reset it there. Um, yeah, I just saw it in the other one too. Um, so there is you can start to see some of the outer bands, but it's not really. It doesn't really look like a tropical storm yet. It's not really there yet. I'll go ahead. I do have a graphic of what it looks like here. Let's take this. This is what the storm looks like right now. You can see it there. The spin is just north of the northeast coast there of Cuba. And it's going to start to pull off to the north, heading towards Nassau, Bahamas. Nassau. Not to be confused with NASA. Now, as this pulls north, they're saying it's going to get off those mountains around Cuba, and it is going to form into a Cat 1 hurricane. That's what they're saying. But right now, I don't see a lot of outflow. I don't see a lot of the things you normally see. It is starting to get colder cloud tops. There is a little bit off to the right, a little bit of flow. I don't know. It's showing a few signs, but we'll have to see what it looks like in the morning. Let me go back and look. This is the same thing, but this is water vapor imagery, and this shows you the vapor content in the atmosphere. And it doesn't have a lot of vapor content yet. There's not really a defined central dense overcast yet. We don't have the dome yet, basically. So this still has a lot of work to do out here. But as it goes over Nassau, those islands don't have a lot of big mountains like Cuba does. And so it is going to have an opportunity here as it slides up next to Florida. It will have an opportunity to form. And so that's why they're watching it. I got a few other ones here. This is called Dvork. I have not read how to read this one yet, so I'm not going to act like that asshole on TV that doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not talking about anybody in specific, but I don't want to be like that guy. So if I don't know what it is, I'm just going to use a bunch of long words. I haven't learned how to read this one yet, but it pretty much shows the same thing. You can see the colder cloud tops. Anyway, so a bunch of different ones there. I love some of the new tools we have this year. This is another new tool that we have this year. And unfortunately, I have to readjust the screen when I use this. But anyway, this is a new tool called a multi-model diagnostic comparison. And it compares all the different models as they run. And You can see each thing mid-level. You can see the sea surface temperature in the middle on the right, and then up on the top, deep layer shear. That's your wind shear. And then the storm intensity, upper left. And then, of course, the track in the lower left. This is an interesting one, and you can go and you can adjust it however you want. And this is available right on Mike's weather page. Guys, I haven't got the chat room going yet. Let me see if I can press the right buttons here. There we go. Hey, there's some folks in here. I don't normally broadcast tonight, so I didn't know who would be here. Hey, Sean. I don't think we're going to get a direct hit on the United States. Deploribus. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Junior. Hey, Victor. Oh, God, Portland. Here we go. Portland is just another example of a city completely run amok, and now it's going to take, the federal government's going to have to go in and fix it, and it's going to be a big old stinking ass mess. All right, so anyway, here's the storm for those just joining us. My service here doesn't have radars out at Cuba, but it does have them in Key West, which is this one here, and it does have them in Miami. So we can turn on Key West or Miami, and we can actually start to see this. You see that lightning right there? You can see that lightning. We saw some of that on the cameras that are up on these islands right up here. And those are up above. I'm going to try to keep them going, but they have to be reset like every 5 minutes, and it's a pain in the ass. Whatever. There we go. I got that one going. They're good cams. It just, they've got like a 10-minute timeout on them. All right. So let me go back over here and get the next slide ready for you guys. There really isn't a lot else. Now, we were just talking about intensity. So let's talk about intensity. You know, this is one of the ones that storm intensity is one of the harder things to forecast. You know, they can figure out where it's going to go more accurately than how strong it will be when it gets there. I don't know if you guys know that or not. There's a lot to forecasting these storms. How big's it going to be? How big's the eye going to be? How compact is the waves going to, the circulation going to be? What's the wind gust? What's the wind field? What's the wind sustain? There's all these different factors. How much rain's falling, and all these different things. And here we go. Well, then move on, buddy. Move on. If you're gonna, dude, you give yourself up every day because you can't just come in and be nice. You have to start out with a derogatory comment. Oh boy, what a douche. All right, so anyway, here we go. Let me get this up on the screen for you here. All right, there we go. This is the intensity forecast. Now, each one of these lines represents a model run, okay? Now, you can see here at the end of each model run, it tells you which one it is, okay? There's the icon, there's the UCMET, there's different ones. Some of these I don't even know what they are. Anyway, they're all models. The point is this shows you how strong each model thinks it's going to be. This is the line, excuse my drunk penning, this is the line between tropical storm, this is tropical storm, and this is a hurricane up here. So anytime these lines come up above into the yellow, that model believes that it's going to be a hurricane at that moment in time. the times are across the bottom. Here is 72 hours. Okay, so these little circles right here show you where the models think it's going to be in 72 hours. Right now, if we go out 3 days or 72 hours, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 models showing hurricane and about 7 models showing tropical storm. So that's an even split, which means there's a 50-50 chance it's either going to be a Cat 1 or it's going to be a tropical storm. Again, more good news for the Carolinas, because even if it does do something weird and gets a little closer, a lot closer, or strikes the coast, we're still only talking a Cat 1. Let's see here. Hey, Henry. Deploribus. Victor, I think I've said hi to everybody else. All right, well, there we go. Let's see here. Let me turn my Epic Pen off. And let's go back. It does that every night during the show. It tells me that my virus and threat protection is not up to date. I don't use virus or threat protection. I don't do shit you're not supposed to do. And you know what? If I'm going to go somewhere, and I haven't done this in a long time, but if I'm going to go somewhere on the internet that's dangerous, I've got a virtual machine for that. I go and I use a machine within the machine that's firewalled off. Yeah, it's days away. That's kind of the thing on this one. It's still days away because it's a slow mover. It's not a fast mover. Oh, Christ. I hit the wrong button. Here we go. Not a fast mover. Here is a good shot of the actual forecasting. Let me get it to where it's all on the screen for you. There we go. Okay, here we go. This is the current forecast. And this one here is from 8 p.m. And notice, unlike my radar Omega, which is showing the coast being under the cone, this is the one I saw just before the show that shows the cone is now off the coast. So right now, the United States is not in the cone. There you go. That's pretty certain for them to do that. They're pretty certain it's going to take that hard turn. Wow. So there you go. That's your latest. All the Bahamian islands down here now all in all under a tropical storm warning. And like I told you, that area over there just south of St. Augustine down to somewhere around Palm Beach or somewhere, that area there is under a tropical storm watch. And that will probably widen some more tomorrow. Yes. They don't have an average line on that intensity forecast, no. That's one thing. They do have an average on everything else. But I guess they figure because it's already a line chart, maybe it would be too confusing. I don't know. That is interesting, though, to think about that. All right, so that's it. That's the storm that we're dealing with. All right, I will go ahead at this point and take questions, or we can take anything else real quick to discuss. I don't want to get into a lot of topics tonight. I don't want to stray too far from the storm is what I'm trying to get at. This, by the way, this is the new, they went they spent a lot of money and a lot of time trying to figure out a better storm track program, screen, and this is what they came up with. This is the new one, and I don't see where it's really any cleaner than the old one. It's probably less specific than the old one. I don't know. Still has all the same. It still does not have the barometric pressure, which is a problem. It should tell you how many inches of mercury or how many millibars it is. That should be on this. It used to always be. And about 10 or 15 years ago, they figured people weren't smart enough to figure out what barometric pressure was. So they took it off of all the graphics. And now you have to specifically look up the text graphic to see what the minimum central pressure is of the storm, which I don't like. But whatever. Hey, Billy, welcome in. All right, yeah, so there you go. Now, as this thing goes by, I'm still going to put up a few streams. I don't think there's going to be much going on, but I'm going to put up a few streams. If nothing else, it's going to be a bit of a test run. Not sure. I'm going out first thing in the morning. I got to get up at 6:30 in the morning. I'm heading to Venice. I'm going to spend a good part of the day in Venice. And then I'm coming back here and I'm going to work on coverage. That's kind of the plan. I got home earlier. I took that weed eater and I went out and I weed eated till the battery was dead, which is about 12 minutes, 10 minutes. It says 35 on the box, but they're smoking crack. Anyway, I went out and I did my 12 minutes with it and I brought it back in. It's been over here on the charger for like 3 hours, 4 hours now or something, and it's still on the first bar. It takes 8 to 12 hours to charge that battery. So if I do it just right, I can run it out twice a day. And that's what I've been trying to do, but I miss it every now and then. But I've been trying to run it out twice a day. I've got a lot to do with it, and it doesn't last that long. It's decent because it's helping me keep. I got to be careful how much I do with my back at any given time. So this kind of allows me. This will allow me to do things with my back, and not overdo it, if you know what I mean. All right, let's go back. That's the only good thing about the battery that doesn't last very long. Only thing I can tell you. Yep, you're starting to see the outer bit of this. But it's still forming. Like I said, it doesn't even look like a tropical storm yet. Yeah. It's mostly the steering winds. Upper level steering winds. And then as they get bigger, more and more, it's the middle level. Yeah, I got a Ryobi. I'm not gonna talk shit about Ryobi because it's the cheap product and it's actually pretty good. Um, I am gonna talk shit about the fact that their box says their battery lasts for 30. I think it says 39 minutes, and it actually lasts for between 9 and 12 minutes. I don't even maybe 8 to 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't know. I timed it a couple times and it was just over 10 minutes at the most. So I bought a thing around up and I'm using it around my big antennas in the back and stuff. I'm just rounding it up. Um, oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he does. He does have a tropical Atlantic isobar map. I can pull that up. Hold on. Pretty sure. That's right, Wendy does that. Okay. I'm going to use a website that I like called windy.com. Why will this not go away? Oh my God. Okay, so let's do windy here. Now that I got it working. All right, this is windy.com, and if you guys want to follow along at home, I always go behind the curtain and give you the link. That link will take you right to the page that you're going to be looking at here right in just a second. Okay, this is windy.com. There's your isobar lines. You can see they're in inches of mercury. Um, there's your 30 inches ISO. There's your 2994. You can see our two storms there as they swirl around, and we'll zoom in. This is going to be, um, Jesus, why does it do that? Is that all it's going to zoom in? Just a little teeny bit or a whole lot? I mean, that's just ignorant. Whatever. All right, so this is pretty cool because we can actually run this forward. Let's go to the GFS model, which is this one right here, and we can actually run this model forward. Here we go. This is tomorrow morning, and 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. There it is, right over Nassau, Bahamas, and there's your ISO lines. You can see those too as we progress up. There we go. This is Monday morning, 5 a.m. Coming real close to Florida here. Monday, 1 p.m. Sitting right off the Space Coast at 29.16 inches of mercury. Here we go, 11 p.m. And this is now midnight going into 4 a.m. Tuesday morning. Still Tuesday morning. Okay, Tuesday afternoon, still sitting off the Space Coast, still sitting over there. Not much of an onshore wind. Now this one's showing it pulling away from the coast at this point. So is this a new run? I mean, this is interesting. It's showing it deepening 28.78 inches, but it's moving it. That is not the forecast track. So that's interesting. The GFS brings it closer to Florida and then kicks it out before it even gets to Georgia. That's an interesting, that's interesting. This is Thursday at 10 p.m. and it is way out at that point. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning here. Here we go. Let's go back. I wish there was another zoom level. This is really annoying. Let's go to the Euro model. Here's the Euro model. Let's run it. This is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Let's start it running from that point. 5 p.m. tomorrow. 9 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be sitting right over Nassau. 6 a.m. Monday. There's 1 p.m. on Monday. Still sitting off the Space Coast. 29.39 inches. And there we go. This one brings it a little closer here. This one brings it real in close to Charleston. This deepens it to 29.11. And oh my, look at this, the Euro. The Euro bringing this thing really close to Charleston, North Carolina. That's going to bring near hurricane force winds on shore if this is the model that it runs. And then there it goes. It's going to take off. Look at that. It's still deepening, 28.87 inches. Still deepening. Okay, starting to go back up again. All right, so it deepened down pretty good there, and there we go. It's moving off to the northeast now. Now, what the hell is this thing doing? It's moving it back towards the coast. This is Friday at 7 p.m. That brings it on shore on Saturday. Oh my God, that can't be what happens, dude. Seriously? Okay, let's reset this. Let's run, this time let's run the icon. All right, here we go. Let's run the icon. This is Sunday. This one doesn't go as far out. Sunday. Right over Nassau, Bahamas tomorrow at 6 p.m. And there it is. Starting to circulate really good there. 29.51. Okay, that's Tuesday at 1 a.m. And it's bringing it in fairly close here. Okay, and it starts to move away. Slowly starting to move away. This is Tuesday at 8 p.m. This thing's going to sit out there for days. Wednesday at 4 a.m. Starting to deepen now. 28.59, 28.44 as it heads off. .18, so it continuing to deepen as it gets out. Well, there you go. That's an interesting one. Let's see, what other ones do I have here. Let's run this back. I got the HRRR. No, let's not run that one. Some of these don't run in all regions. All right, let's run this. Well, this one only goes out 2 days. There's tomorrow 6 a.m. See, it's showing it strengthening pretty good. 29.1. 28.95. 28.82. 28.72. Wow, 2847, 2835. This strengthens it into a pretty good hurricane here, a good Cat 1 anyway, coming out of Nassau. 27.91. And that's the end of the run. Damn. That's incredible, guys. Some of these models are really wanting to form this thing. Let's go back over here and run the models traditionally, and take a look at where we're at. Let's run that GFS. I want to see what that looks like here on the regular map. Let's go ahead and do the southeast region. There we go. All right, this is the GFS. All right, here we go. So this brings it in 997. We've got Genesis 991. Genesis? Genesis is illegal. Okay, 988. And then boom, it just takes it right out. And that's it. Washed it right the hell out. Now let's take a look at that euro, because that euro did some weird shit. Here comes the euro. Okay, so the euro brings it up. There it is over Nassau. And there we go. We got a little genesis here. Doesn't strengthen it very rapidly, though. No rapid intensification. A little bit of there, a little bit of intensification. Sits around for a day. Gets a little stronger. 974 millibars. That's a healthy one, maybe a week two. And then it just kind of slowly meanders away. And then it backs back up. And then hits the Outer Banks. What the hell's up with that? Do you guys see that? I'm going to run it way back. It comes off. This is October 1st, October 2nd, October 3rd, and this thing stalls off the coast and then moves towards the Outer Banks and makes landfall in southern North Carolina. But it's not very strong. Interesting. Wow. That's aggressive for the euro. Let's do the CMC. All right, there it comes up. CMC just takes it up and away. All right, let's look at some of our hurricane models. All right, so here we go. This one brings it up and brings it away. There we go. That's what a lot of them are thinking right now. Let's try this one. A little bit more rapid intensification, but not up into anything. And then it weakens back out again. It's just sitting there. This is October 1st. And then it moves away. But then it doesn't know what to do with it. It just sits there. This thing could have a stalling feature. If it comes up near there and stalls, we could have a huge rain event situation. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, we can do that. Here's your sea surface temperatures on the Klystron. All right, there we go. I don't even know what that is. It's something at a TV station. All right, so there's your sea surface temperatures. This thing is sitting right about here right now. All right, that's about our starting point, and it's going to come up. It'll be here tomorrow when we go on the air. It'll be sitting right over NASA, and it's going to come up in this area and go out. Now, I want you to notice, see this darker zone right here? Okay, there's different temperatures out here, and there is eddies of warmer currents, and if it gets over these eddies, see out here, the reason that this is a little cooler is because we've had several storms go over this area, but we've got this loop that comes up and loops down and goes around and loops up and goes up the eastern seaboard. Okay, it's a loop current, and that's why sometimes when Ian comes across here, it rapidly intensified when it hit that loop current. That's why when Katrina came up, it ran right up that loop current. And then once it got away from the loop current, it started weakening. So there's something to be said about these currents out there. And the good news, though, is almost nearly all of the models now have this thing pulling away. So 82, 84, 85 degrees, well hot enough, well warm enough to do a hurricane. You can easily cook a hurricane up in this temperature. However, The other conditions have to be pretty good. When the sea surface is 90 degrees, you could have mediocre conditions and still spawn a major hurricane. In these temperatures, which are 5, 6, 7 degrees cooler than that, this is not a real warm year. And so, with these temperatures, you really need some decent conditions in order to produce a big hurricane. So, anyway, there you go, Victor. There's your temps. Um, no, the hype feature. No, I watched a little short on it, and but it didn't explain how I turn it on or what I got to do. But I will get it turned on because if it'll help, let's do it. I'm always up for that. All right, so that's your sea surface temperatures, and we did all the model runs. I showed you guys all the satellite stuff. Um, that's pretty much what there is. The rest of these storms. Um, Look at this other storm, man. This thing's a machine. Look at that thing. It's mad. It's crazy. Victor, I don't think so. The only thing that at this point that I would caution is just the fact that it looks like it might try to stall out there, and if it stalls out there, um, and sits for 2 or 3 days, then yeah, there could be a flooding issue. If it pulls away, like most of the models are saying it's going to pull away, then we should be okay. Okay, guys, what do we got? Any last minute questions or any other information? I'm not aware of any big breaking news going on anywhere tonight. Um, I know there's some protesting and stuff going on in Portland. Um, some kind of pro-crime rally. Go bad guys, I guess. I'll never figure that one out. All right. Let's see if I can get these Bahama things going one more time. One more time. There we go. All right, there we go. One more time. The weather's nice down there tonight because, again, this storm is just starting to form. And so, not really a lot to look at yet. I will be on tomorrow night. We'll have a regular show where I'll cover whatever's going on. Um, but I'll also be covering this as well. Tomorrow we should have a better idea. Is it going to continue to pull right? Or are we going to see the what we call the wagging of the tail or the sympathetic movement back to the left again? Usually if you have a couple days of right movement, you'll have a couple days of left movement, but that's not always the case. So I don't know where we're going to be tomorrow. This thing is still it's really weak. When they're really weak like this, we don't know exactly where to put the X on the map. And because we don't necessarily have a really good starting point, sometimes the models are a little askew. As we get a good storm center start to form, we can actually send hurricane hunters out, which we're doing tonight, we're doing in the morning. As those hurricane hunters go out there and they fly through this thing, we're going to get better information as to exactly where that pin needs to be placed on the map of where that low pressure center is right now, and then from there we can get some better forecasting. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow evening, and it'll be good. We'll do a regular 2 hour or so show tomorrow, and then it's back to work on Monday. I will be putting up a couple of hurricane streams. I don't know what. if this thing weakens or doesn't form or whatever, then I'll probably truncate what I'm doing. If it tends to be look like it's getting worse or is going to be more of an issue, and there's more to show, then I'll go ahead and put up some more streams. Um, but anyway, that's all over on Starship After Dark. If you guys have not checked it out, please head over to Starship After Dark. And that is my other channel. That channel has unmanned feeds. It has AM radio stuff. It has police, fire, EMS stuff. It has rail fan train stuff. It's got a bunch of different things over there to check out. And the 7.2 is squawking back there right now. It's on live as well. So throw a sub over there, but do not hit the notification bell over on that channel. Hit the notification bell on this channel. I only go live on this channel when it's me hosting the coverage. I moved everything that's not me hosting coverage over to Starship After Dark so that you guys would be notified when we're live with me, but not have the damn thing going off every time I reset one of these 8 streams here in the studio. And I think it's working. Our numbers have come up some, and I do believe that it's helped with a number of things with the algorithm. And I think over the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to continue to see improvement on that. So anyway, there we go. There's a couple of other news stories we're going to get to this coming week, including Major League Baseball talking about now they're going to install an AI umpire, and they're going to be able to track all the lines and fouls and everything. But at first, you're going to have to use it like a challenge for the first few years. But eventually, hopefully, this will replace the completely unreliable umpires and referees that we have. Sports is ruined when we can't make a fair call or a fair game. And I stopped watching the NFL about 4 or 5 years ago. I had become very disenchanted with the NFL. And I got to the point where I was hardly tolerating it, only because my mom and dad were into it. I was into it a little bit because they were into it, and my friends were into it, and a couple guys I worked with were into it, and we talked about it, on the air and stuff. This was 10 years ago. Anyway, I had kind of limped along for a while, and then I watched this game with my family. I have a family member, one of my family members, a nephew that is a Saints fan. He loves the Saints. He's actually been out to New Orleans a few times just to see games. He loves the Saints. And I don't know why that this became his team. His dad likes the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who knows why? He's never been to Pittsburgh. But he likes the Saints, and so they were in the playoffs. It was the final round of the playoffs. It was the AFC or whatever championship, and they were winning. The Saints were winning, and you could tell at one point in the game that the energy changed, and there was one bad call, another bad call, another bad call. 5 bad calls against the Saints, and they ended up losing the game. That game was completely rigged. Those umpires were working together to achieve a specific outcome, and that's the last minute of football that I've ever watched. That's it. I have not watched it since. It was so obvious that it was So I want to talk about this, not the cheating part. I want to talk about the electronic part. I think this is really cool. I think it's really neat that we can maybe make our games fair again. They've been using it in tennis for a little while now, and they've been using it in some other sports. Um, for track and field, they've been using it for timing for years. There's nothing wrong with it. When you add a person hitting a stopwatch, it's inaccurate. We can be much more accurate with a machine. Well, the same thing goes for offsides or where the ball placement's going to be, or whether it's baseball, it was a foul, it was not, it was inbounds. I think, I think it's important that we take the referees and the umpires, because there's just such a history of them not being fair and being bought and being just incompetent, that I think it's time to let AI do it. Also, one last thing I want to talk about, I want to mention, and we'll bring it up again this coming week. Did you know we did a study at work using AI, of course, and there's a lot of news stories out about these self-driving cars running people over, and self-driving cars and everything. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but they just crossed 1 million hours of use. 1 million use hours for autonomous vehicles in California, and several other states. They're using these things. They're being summoned. You get in them. They take you where you're going. You get out. It's all done electronically. There's no one in the car but you, it's working. But everybody keeps saying how damn dangerous it is. Oh, it's dangerous. These cars are dangerous. Well, we now have 1 million hours. We now have a data set. Okay, we now have a complete data set, and we can now compare that data set to the national average and the state average for California. When you take the average, those autonomous vehicles are 9 times safer than humans. This whole myth, it's like, oh, I don't want to fly, it's too dangerous. Flying is 3 or 4 times safer per mile than driving on an interstate at 90 miles an hour. You're safer on that plane with that professional pilot and co-pilot flying you there. You're only actually in hazard for 40 minutes, where that same thing would take me 8 hours to drive. So it's safer to fly than it is to drive. It's now, we're finding out, it's 9 times safer to take a self-driving vehicle than it is to take a human-driven vehicle. And all I can say about that is I knew this was going to happen, because computers, they're always on, they're always paying attention, they're never like doing something else, they're never drunk, they're never on drugs, okay? As long as and if a lens gets blocked, or if a camera gets messed up, or if something's not right, the car puts the blinkers on, immediately pulls over and stops, and it sits there. It lets the rider out. It calls another car for the rider. Everything's automatic. And they send a human to come see what's wrong with the car. So in other words, where most of us, when the car starts doing something weird, we just keep on going. These things are safer. You know, if it doesn't know what to do, it slows down. It calms everything down. And they do not respond to aggressive driving. If someone begins to aggressive drive, it notifies its dispatcher. The dispatcher can watch on the cameras and decide whether it needs to call the police. I'm telling you guys, this is the future. It's here. I welcome self-driving vehicles, because the drivers on the road suck so bad that I welcome self-driving vehicles. I think it's going to be safer. Hey, Coco. No, we just talked about the hurricane. And then we talked a little bit about artificial intelligence in umpiring sports. And now I'm talking just for a minute about autonomous cars. But we're going to follow all this up next week. Yeah, I hope that helped him, Deploribus. I hope that helped him, because truthfully, I mean, it's all the same broken system. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There was a cat out here a minute ago, Victor. Let me see who I got. Come on, Ed. Daddy. Come on. Come here, Ed. Come on. Daddy, you want to come in? Who's coming in? It's going to be Daddy. Well, come on up. Come on, Daddy Kitty. Come on. Come on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Come on. What's wrong with you? There we go. There we go, you guys. That's my boy. That's my boy. This is Daddy Kitty. And yes, he's called that. We don't know that he ever actually, like, donated sperm to a cat. But we do know that every kitten we've ever brought, and we adopt mamas and kittens without mamas. We've taken in some pretty desperate cases. And this cat raises them. He raises them like an English nanny. He lays with them, he cleans them, he carries them around in his mouth. It's a fixed male, okay? It's a neutered male. We don't understand it. We don't know where he gets it from. He must have been an English nanny in his last life. But he loves little kittens. And so anytime we get little kittens, the first thing we do is he'll hear the meowing. We don't even have to introduce them. We'll get a little box with one or two little kittens in it or something. He hears it, meow, meow, meow. As soon as he hears that, he freaks out because he knows they're for him. And he goes and he'll introduce himself to the mama kitty. And he'll be like, hey, I'm here to help. And she lets him right in, and they all lay down with the cats. And it's a weird, I don't understand it. He's got a good soul. I've never seen this cat hurt anything, do anything, hiss at anything, be pissed at anything. He's just got the perfect temperament to be the daddy kitty. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what causes that or how it happens, but he's a good soul, and I'm so glad to have him. He had a broken leg. We tried to get him so we could go put him down. He showed up here with a badly twisted, broken back leg, with the bones hanging out. We couldn't get him. He wouldn't let us anywhere near him. Showed up 6 months later, 4 or 5, 6 months later. The leg's fine. He's walking on it. I don't know, cats, man, they heal quick. If they can, they do. And there we go. And he walked right when he came back. He walked right up to us. He wasn't feral anymore. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And then he cleaned up. He's a beautiful cat. He's an absolutely gorgeous orange cat. Isn't that right, buddy? Yeah. And he loves the people. He's figured it out now. He loves the people. Not much on wet food. Yeah, not much on snacks. He don't care about all that. He's not a foodie. I got some of my cats are foodies and some of them are not. He's not a foodie. I spend about $25 a week on hard food. I spend about $25 a week on canned food. They get 2 cans a day because I got several of them that have bad teeth and things like that. They can't do the hard food that much. And then I buy a big thing of snacks about every 2 weeks, and I go around giving them snacks every couple of days. I'll give them some snacks. But that's it. You know, it's about $50 a week, and I take care of my 7 cats, my 3 feral cats, and probably about 6 or 8 more neighbor cats and neighborhood cats. But I don't care because you know what? Cats don't go hungry around my house. They don't ever go hungry around my house. So there you go. So yeah, there you go. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, you know something. Refs are infuriating, Junior. Now, I think we would be better off knowing for sure, that okay, look, we had 9 computers look at this ball, and it definitely hit the white line. I mean, computers are better than us at almost anything they can do. So why not use it? We know that these refs are getting bought out. They act like they're above reproach. Absolute horseshit. Okay, absolute horseshit. People want to believe people are above that, or that doesn't happen. It happens everywhere. Humans are corrupt. From the highest to the lowest, and no matter where you're at or what you're doing, every human's corrupt. It's all in the form of degrees, right? Look at this cat. Oh my God. I want to hit this button so you guys can see what this cat's doing. Look at this. He's getting his belly done. What are you doing, Dito? Yeah, he's a beautiful cat. Like I said, he raises all our little kittens. And it's funny too, cause he don't like going in the house much. He doesn't go in the bedroom at all, hardly. I'll let him in there anytime, but he doesn't want to. And even like the 2 boys that are in there, he raised them. But once they got up to their teenage years, about a year and a half or so for cats, he didn't really, want to be around them no more. He still goes in and says hi to him and stuff, but once he raises it, he only wants the little babies. He wants the little babies, and he cleans them. He does everything the mama does. You're all on the keyboard. You know that. That computer over there, one of them got on that computer, and it says, the computer says it can't find whatever that means. Anyway, all right. So, is there anything else? Yeah, I let him in here a lot, but I got to be careful because there's keyboards, as you can see when I switch to the other view. There's keyboards everywhere, and they just lay right on the keyboard. Some of them. Mama, I've been working on Mama Bleep. She comes in a lot. Yeah, Junior, I'm a cat person, and I won't say anything disparaging about dogs, other than maybe the violence of pit bulls, but we'll leave that for another show. Um, I love dogs. I've had dogs that I like. I've had 2 different German shepherds in my life that were like best friends or family's dog, and I got really close to them. I love dogs, but I'm not a big fan. The oil smell that you get on the couch, you guys know what I'm talking about? Some dogs put off an oil. That oil gets on everything. That house smells like the inside of a dog's asshole. And I can't do the dog smell. I can't hang out. It makes me to where I can't breathe. It's weird. And cat dander don't bother me. Cat piss don't bother me. Whatever. That dog odor does. I don't know what it is. Some people are like that with cat piss, and I understand. If you tell me you're like that with cat piss, I will completely understand. Um, but I don't know. I don't like that. And then I also, with dogs, I don't relate to them as well. I for some reason, I just don't relate to them as well. I love my cats. Yeah, he's very chill. I've never seen this cat hiss or fight or anything. He's just got an amazing soul, and he just loves people. And I have to finally put him out because he won't stop this. This will go on for hours. If the cat likes you, he'll let you feed him. That's true. He'll let you feed him anyway, though. Yeah, wet dog smell. It's that same smell, but it's amplified by the fact that they're wet. Yeah, I don't do the whole thing. And you know what? I also hate being licked. I don't let I don't my cats can do almost anything to me, but I really prefer they don't do a lot of licking on me. Dogs, for some reason, with the smell and everything, I cannot stand having a dog. When I see somebody have a dog licking their face, I literally cringe. I have to walk out of the room. Um, Hypoallergenic. Yeah, they make hypoallergenic cats now that have very little dander, and I don't know. I've heard they've had some success with that. This one would not be the one you want because he has very light skin, and usually the white ones and the orange ones have the most dander. Usually, it seems. At least that's been my experience. They're running ads down here because they can't find enough people that wants to be cops anymore. They don't even have enough people applying right now to fill the jobs. And I'm like, well, I know how to fix that problem, but nobody's asking me. You have to make it honorable again. And the only way to make it honorable again is to start treating the public with respect. The cops have completely quit treating us with respect. Do you agree? What do you think? What? What's wrong? He wants me. He says, pet me. That's what I want. Pet me. All right, guys. Anything else? I'm going to call it. I've been on over an hour. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat and go to bed. They say you're not supposed to do that, but they've also come out with research that research was full of shit. Um, yeah, I do. We've got enough time left uh, that I think we've still got a couple of weeks out there where we could get a storm that could brew up into a hurricane. But we are definitely over peak. Um, it needs to happen soon. Once we get into November, as you know, it's pretty much too late. But October's not too late. We actually have had some big storms. Hurricane Wilma was an October storm, late October, I think. And so you can get a hurricane, but see that was a weird one too. It kind of went extra tropical right before it hit Florida. It was kind of a weird deal, and it hit Naples and damaged Miami. It was kind of a very weird storm. But anyway, I do think there's a chance for maybe one more uh, landfalling hurricane in the United States. But I will tell you that it's looking better and better, and it's a good thing. The insurance industry and the National Flood Program, which is government run, government subsidized, and the governments in Florida in particular, we need a year off. We need an entire year without a storm, and I think we might get one this year. But we need this. Um, yeah, yeah, they told us for years eggs were bad for us, and now eggs are good for us. Isn't that awesome? um, so there you go. But yeah, maybe one more storm after this one. Uh, as days go on here, we're getting further and further away from any more major storms. That's for sure. Are you ready? Are we done? We ready to shut the lights off, buddy? He says, "Yeah, just let's do it." Yeah. All right, guys. This has been a special tropical edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth on a Saturday night. Um, yeah, but it's down there across the intertropical. Late in the season, you can really get them popping up just about anywhere. Um, yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, he loves that. Oh, oh. All right. That's it. That's it. I'm calling it. All right, guys. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. We are live in. Would you stop? We are live in our studios here in Southwest Florida. This is my cat, Daddy Kitty, and he is co-hosting tonight. And we've been live talking about this new storm. We'll probably have a name tomorrow. It's going to be the ice storm. I always forget to look and see what it is, but whatever. We'll be talking tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. I'll be back on again. We'll see you guys then. Oh, my name's Ian. This is Starship Studios in Southwest Florida. And this has been a special tropical edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth right here on Starship Adventures. Don't forget to hit the notification bell here on Starship Adventures so you'll know every time we go live with hosted coverage or every time Daddy Kitty goes live with hosted coverage. All right, everybody, have a good one out there. We'll see you next time. 7 threes.